Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing an overview of my 2024 Toyota Tacoma. Now in this video, I want to give a quick overview of all of the modifications I've done to the vehicle so far, showing my likes, my dislikes, and a couple of the things that you may need to know before you buy this truck. Now starting off with the biggest eye catcher for this truck is going to be the wheel and tire setup. I'll be running a Relation Race Wheels RR7H Flowform wheel. These are going to be 17 by 8.5 with a 0 offset. They're going to be wrapped in my favorite tire, which is the Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws. These are going to be about a 33-inch tire, and I believe that the 33-inch is the perfect size for your vehicle to reduce the chances of rubbing when turning your vehicle. You can do 35s. I've seen people do 35s, but to be honest with you, I think the 33s look perfect for this application. With the 0 offset on these wheels and tires, they are going to stick out a little bit further from your normal stock tires and wheels. So to accommodate for that, I added in some painted fender flares by Rough Country. Now I will say these do take a little bit to get to you. Shipping lead time is about 2 to 6 weeks. I think I got mine in about 6, so just be wary if you do want to order these. These are very nice because the one thing I mentioned before is that they do want to stick out a little bit further, so that's going to kick up a lot of rocks and mud. So to accommodate for that, that's why I put in the extended fender flares. Moving on to the front of the vehicle, the one thing I really wanted to change out was the OEM fog lights. The OEM fog lights are LED, they work just fine, but I wanted something a little bit brighter. So in that case, I opted for the new Diode Dynamics fog light kit. These are super bright and they are road legal, so you're not going to have to worry about blinding oncoming drivers, and they are pretty easy to install. The only thing is you will have to drop the entire front end in order to get to the actual fog lights in order to disassemble them. Other than that, the front of the vehicle is pretty much stock. I didn't really do anything else to it. In the future, I would like to get one of the Trail Hunter or TRD Pro grills, so that way I can put in a 30-inch light bar right below the logo. Continuing on with auxiliary lighting, I did add in some Diode Dynamics ditch lights. These are going to be their Sport series, and I made an installation video on this. So if you guys want to check that out, please check the product description down below. As far as under the hood, I haven't done anything yet. I am waiting on AFV Power to come out with a cold air intake. Toyota does have their OEM application out right now, but I've seen prices range anywhere from $500 to $800. So it's going to take a little while for aftermarket companies in order to create something for the cold air intakes, but for the time being, I'm just going to wait and hold off. Now for legal reasons, these windows are not tinted, but if they were going to be, they would be about a 20% tint in order to match the rear of the vehicle. Now I did debadge the entire vehicle, and I ended up putting on the same exact badge as I had on my 3rd generation TRD Pro. This one just says TRD Off-Road. Now one of the big stipulations is that people put on badges on their vehicle that don't belong, but to be honest with you, this is a TRD Off-Road and this says TRD Off-Road on it. So I really like the older generation style of badges on here, and I think that this looks fantastic, and it was only about 20 bucks for 2 of them on eBay. Now as far as the rear of the vehicle goes, not too much was done. I did add in a Diode Dynamics hitch mounted light, so that way when I put it into reverse, I have a wider beam of light that I can use for my backup camera. Other than that, I debadged everything back here, and then I added in these OEM style lettering covers for the logo that is going to be debossed when you get it from the factory. Now as far as modifications and upgrades go to the vehicle, that is going to be pretty much about it. Now I want to get into some of the features that I like and do not like about this truck. I will say that this has been my favorite truck that I have ever owned, and it's treated me very well for the time that I had it. I was able to get it in the beginning of March and be one of the first people to actually get a public release of this, and everything that you see on here has been pretty much done at that exact same time that I have got it in March. Moving on to one of the things that I was not too keen of when I got the vehicle was the exhaust. The muffler and the exhaust tip actually hang pretty low from your vehicle, so if you are going to be doing some heavy off-roading, I would look into getting an axle dump exhaust or a different exhaust style, so that way you don't crush it. Now one of the big gripes that people had when this vehicle came out was that you were going from a 6-cylinder now down to a 4-cylinder, but this is going to be turboed, and I will say that it has a lot more juice, a lot more pickup than my 3rd generation Tacoma with that 6-cylinder in it. Now as far far as upgrades in the engine bay goes, I've done absolutely nothing. The only thing I have added was these lasfit LED turn signals, and they work just great. Now, the interior of the vehicle is going to be quite updated from your 3rd generation Tacoma, and what I opted for in my Tacoma was go with the upgraded display and sound system. So I'm going to be having a full JBL sound system and a 14-inch touchscreen display. One cool thing about this is that your speaker in the front actually acts as a portable speaker that you can remove and take out to the golf course, and when it's plugged into the vehicle, it's going to act as another surround sound speaker. Now, talking about gas mileage, that's one of the things that I know is going to come up a lot in this video. Right now, I'm currently getting about 16.4, 16.5 miles to the gallon. That is with the added weight of the wheels and tires and the tire size that I added to this vehicle. But when it was stock, I was getting somewhere between 17 miles to the gallon. That's going to vary from person to person. I drive this thing like I'm qualifying for the Baja 1000 every single time. So my fuel efficiency is going to drop a lot from what you may experience. But other than that, I've never had a vehicle that has ever gone above 20 miles to the gallon, so I don't really notice the difference that much. I'm kind of used to it, but that's one thing to look out for when you are buying this vehicle. Again, going back to the interior of this vehicle, I really love the updated design and all the colors that do come with your truck. It's very nice to see that there is something updated from what the previous Tacomas had, but with this updated new look, it does feel like you're having a modern vehicle. One thing I do love is that you now have pre-designated auxiliary switches here, so that way you control all your auxiliary lighting from the inside cab of your vehicle without having to worry about run wires to the inside and through the firewall. Again, if you want to see a video on how I was able to achieve that, please check out the product link description down below, and I'll have a video showing how I was able to run all my different auxiliary lighting to these switches right here. The backside of the cab is going to be a little bit limited on space. This is definitely good if you have younger kids, but if you have a bunch of big dudes constantly riding in the back seat, it may not be comfortable. But I will say that there is a lot more space than my 3rd generation Tacoma that I had. Now, I did go for the 5-foot bed instead of the 6-foot bed, and you actually have quite a bit of space back here. It does come with a plastic drop-in bed liner, and you have different auxiliary ports that you can access in the back of the vehicle. Over here, you're going to have a small storage compartment that you can put ratchet straps or anything else that you would like in there, and that is actually pretty secured by these turn dials right here. Over here, you also are going to have a 120-volt house connector right there that you can plug into. And on the left side of the vehicle, you're going to have another storage compartment. You will also have a 12-volt cigarette lighter right here, along with 2 USB Type-C connectors. And you also have a location for your fuse in case you do blow it. Now, talking about future modifications I will be doing to this vehicle is I am going to upgrade the suspension package. I'm probably going to be putting on the King suspension package with new front coilovers, rear shocks, and then also some billet aluminum upper control arms. That's going to be in the future. It is quite expensive, somewhere around $5,000 to $7,000. So it is pretty hefty, but I am looking forward to adding that to my vehicle. If you guys have questions about anything I've done to my vehicle or just questions in general about the new Tacoma, please leave them in the comment section down below and I'll get back to them as soon as I can.